Hi, my name is Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News, and today we have Greg Bland joining us in the studio. Greg is a Republican primary candidate for House District 52. Hi, thanks so much for being here with us.
Hi, Jenny. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Before we jump into your campaign and your race, first just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay, well, I'm a lifetime resident of Yale County, the only one in the race.
Oh my goodness.
Been married to my wife, Sherry, for 32 years, be 33 in September of this year. We have 4 children, 3 amazing grandchildren. My daughter laughs at me when I say that. She says, "Oh, 4 children and 3 amazing grandchildren."
That's cute, yeah.
But we're pretty proud of our grandchildren.
Yeah.
I've been in the insurance business since 1985. I was with Farm Bureau for 19 years. And as of this Friday, I will have been with Shelter Insurance for 20 years.
That's awesome.
And so I have some experience in small business. I was an agency manager with Farm Bureau for 3 years. And so I've done that. And of course, I've managed my own agency for Shelter for 20 years now.
Tell us about this newly drawn district 52. You mentioned your particular county, but what area does it exactly encompass?
Okay, well, Mary Bentley is still going to have Centerville, Plainview, and the Ola
Okay.
out of the easternmost part of Yale County. The remainder of Yale County, all of Scott County, and then a small portion of Sebastian County, which is going to include Mansfield area, is going to be in this district. So it's going to go from Yale County plumb to the Oklahoma state line.
Well, so I guess as you've been trying to get around and meet people, what are you hearing from voters in that district?
Well, you know, it's amazing. I'm hearing a lot of people say they're really glad that someone local that has my background, a rural conservative background, is running in the race. People are honestly telling me they're tired of hearing lifelong politicians make promises and we're going to do this and this and this, and they've been there multiple years and still nothing has changed.
Don't you think that's really, we're seeing more of that, especially over the last 2 years during the pandemic? A lot of great rhetoric, but when it comes time to actually push the button or propose a bill that really needs to be pushed, like, you know, regarding vaccine mandates or something like that, it doesn't happen. And so is that kind of what you're hearing?
Yes, I mean, the people in our district are really opposed to government overreach,
Yeah.
the mandates, vaccinations. You know, they ask me all the time, where do you stand on vaccinations? And I tell them, you know, I think that should be personal and it should be private.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the consensus in our district.
Talk to us a little bit about, you mentioned your background, small business owner, cattle farmer for many years. How has this prepared you, or your experience prepared you for the role of political office?
Well, you know, I started out years ago as a young man, and I partnered with my father in the cattle business. And now my son partners with me in the cattle business. So that's very exciting. You know, one of the things that I think has been a big plus for me is I grew up and we had a commercial hay baling and hauling business when I was a young boy. We worked hard.
Yeah.
We knew what it was like to work hard. And I'm in touch with the people in Yale County. And so many times I see politicians that go off and they're looking to, you know, advance their own agendas and put feathers in their own hats. And they forget where they came from and who they represent. And they get out of touch with the people of their district. And that's one of the reasons that I want to run for state representative, is because I want to represent the rural conservative people in our district.
I've also heard you say that one of the main reasons that you're running is for your children, but especially your grandchildren. You have said that you want to be able to look them in the eye and say, you know what, we work to make things better for you. Talk to us about that.
You know, when our president said that our God-given rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness were not absolute, I told my wife, I said, that's enough.
Yeah.
It's time that someone has to stand up and say that, you know, enough is enough. Because if we continue to let them take our liberties away, they're going to take them totally away from us.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was reading this morning in an article in 1440, and, you know, for the first time in the history, the rural population census has decreased. 20 years ago, it had decreased. It had grown 3.4 million. The last 10 years, it had grown 1.2 million, and now it has actually declined 0.6%. And so it's more important now than ever that we have rural conservative common sense ideas taken to the Capitol.
Well, speaking of that, what really drives you in your decision making? What would you say is the foundation of your campaign?
Well, number one, my faith is huge to me. You know, if I could read a scripture to you, it would be Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 14. And to summarize it, it basically says, tell the nobles
Mhm,
and then fight.
mhm.
Fight for your brother, fight for your sister, fight for your family, fight for your community.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm putting them on notice. We're coming. We're going to fight. It's time to stand up and fight for what we believe in, what is right, and for our liberties.
Okay, what would you like voters in your area to know? How can they get involved with your campaign?
Well, one of the things that I'm doing to everyone that I talk to is I'm telling them, you know, the job is representative.
Mm.
And if you can't contact me and I can't contact you, I can't represent you. So I'm making sure that every one of them have my cell phone number, 479-495-9595. It's the same one I've had for many years, and I'm not planning on changing it.
Yeah.
So if they have concerns or questions, I want them to contact me and let's
Mhm.
talk.
Thank you so much for coming into the studio today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeannie. It was a pleasure to be here.